The hot sun burned over the quiet village road as a luxury black car rolled slowly down the narrow path. Its shiny surface stood out like a strange guest in this poor and dusty place. Inside the car sat Raghav, a man dressed in an expensive suit, his wristwatch shining, his shoes polished. He looked out of the window, his face unreadable, but his eyes carried something heavy, something he had tried to hide for many years. As the car stopped in front of a small, broken house, Raghav stepped out. His feet touched the dry ground, and a strange feeling passed through him, a mix of guilt, shame, and fear. The door of the house opened, and Karen, a thin young man in faded clothes, came out. His eyes were tired, his face pale, but he managed a small smile when he saw Raghav. Raghav nodded. Karan. For a moment, they just stood there, staring at each other. Years had passed. So many years of silence, so many years of distance. They were brothers, but their worlds had become completely different. Raghav had left the village right after college. He got a job in the city, worked hard, started a company, and became a millionaire. He never looked back. Karan had stayed behind, looking after their sick mother until she passed away. He had no money, no support, and no one to help him. He had written letters to Raghav but never got a reply. Now, after almost 10 years, Raghav stood in front of him, clean, rich, powerful, and Karan looked like a shadow from the past. They sat on a wooden bench outside the house. "I came to see you," Raghav said quietly. "I had some business nearby." Karan didn't reply. His eyes looked tired but not angry, just hurt. "I brought some money," Raghav said, pulling out an envelope from his jacket. "You can use it to fix the house, or leave this place if you want." Karen looked at the envelope but didn't take it. "I don't need money," he said. "I needed a brother." Raghav looked down. His hands tightened around the envelope. "I know I failed you," he said, "but I want to help now. That's why I'm here." Karen nodded slowly. "At least you came." There was a long silence between them. Then Raghav stood up and looked at his watch. "I have to go. My car's waiting." Karan stood too. He gave his elder brother a small, weak hug, the kind of hug that says goodbye forever. "Take care," Raghav said, trying to smile. "I'll send more help." He turned away and walked toward the car. His shoes crunched on the dry ground. The air was quiet. Then suddenly, a loud, terrifying scream came from behind the house. It was not a normal scream. It was full of fear, pain, and something inhuman. It echoed through the village like a warning. Raghav stopped. His body stiffened. He turned slowly to look at Karan. Karan's face had turned pale. "That sound," he whispered. "It came from inside the house." Raghav's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" Karan didn't answer. He ran toward the back of the house. Raghav followed him, his heartbeat rising fast. The scream had shaken him to the core. It was like nothing he had ever heard before. They reached the back door, an old wooden door that was always kept shut. Karan took a deep breath and opened it slowly. The air inside was cold, dark, dusty. Raghav stepped in, coughing. The floor creaked under his feet. "Where did it come from?" he asked. Karan pointed toward a small storeroom at the corner. "From there." The door to the storeroom was locked. Raghav frowned. "Why is this locked?" Karan shook his head. "It was locked when I moved in. I never opened it. I thought it was empty." Another soft sound came, like someone crying, a whimper. Karan's hands were shaking as he searched for something to break the lock. He found a rusted iron rod and began hitting it hard. Raghav watched, feeling cold sweat on his forehead. 1, 2, 3 strikes. Crack! The lock broke. Karan pushed the door open. The smell of dust and old wood hit them first. Then, a small sound again, a soft, fearful cry. Raghav stepped inside. It was dark. He pulled out his phone and turned on the flashlight. In the corner of the room, under an old blanket, something moved. They walked closer. Karan slowly pulled the blanket away, and there, hiding in fear, her eyes wide and terrified, was a young girl. She looked weak, tired, and scared. Raghav knelt down. "Who are you?" he asked softly. The girl didn't speak at first. Then she whispered, trembling, "Please, don't let him take me back." Raghav couldn't believe what he was seeing. A young girl, no more than 12 or 13, sat in the corner of the dusty storeroom. Her face was pale, her clothes dirty, and her eyes were filled with fear. She held her knees close to her chest and shook like a frightened animal. Raghav slowly reached out his hand. "It's okay. You're safe now." But the girl quickly moved back, her eyes wide. "No, no, please, don't take me back. He'll find me again." Karan knelt beside Raghav. "It's all right," he said softly. "We're not here to hurt you. You're safe." The girl looked at Karen for a moment. Something in his soft voice made her pause. Slowly, she stopped shaking. She looked between the two brothers, unsure if she could trust them. "What's your name?" Karen asked gently. The girl didn't. "Sir." Instead, she pointed at a broken window above them. "He watches from there every night." Raghav looked at the window. It was covered in dust with a crack running across the glass. He could see the dark sky outside. There was no one there now, but the way the girl said it sent a chill down his spine. "She's been hiding here," Karan whispered, "all this time." "But how did she survive?" Raghav asked. "Who gave her food?" I found old packets," the girl said weakly, "and I drank from the tap when he wasn't here." Raghav's eyebrows pulled together. "Who's he? Who are you afraid of?" The girl looked down. "The man who kept me. The one I ran from." Karan stood up, worry growing in Naum. His eyes. "We should call the police." But the girl panicked. She stood up quickly and held Raghav's arm. "No, please. If you call them, he'll find me. He always finds me." Raghav looked into her eyes. He had seen many things in business, but never this kind of fear. This was something darker, deeper. "Do you have any family?" Karen asked. The girl shook her head. "They're gone. I was taken a long time ago. I don't remember their faces." Karen's heart broke. He looked at Raghav. "We can't. Just leave her." "I know," Raghav said. "Let her stay here for now, at least tonight." The girl sat down again. She looked exhausted. Karen brought her some food and water. She ate slowly, her hands still trembling. That night, the brothers sat in the main room of the house. Raghav looked around. "How did you not know someone was living in your own house?" Karen sighed. "That room was always locked. I thought it had nothing inside. I had no reason to check, and sometimes I thought the sounds were just in my head." Raghav stared at the flame of the oil lamp. "This is serious, Karen. If she's telling the truth, then someone dangerous is looking for her. She's just a kid, Raghav. Look at her. She's scared to death." "I know," Raghav said quietly. "That's what worries me." Just then a sharp sound hit the window. Thud. Both brothers stood up quickly. Karan walked to the window and looked out. No one. Then Raghav noticed something on the ground near the door. He walked over and picked it up. It was a small rock, and wrapped around it was a piece of torn paper. He opened it. In red ink, the note said, "She doesn't belong to you." Raghav's hands tightened around the note. He looked at Karan. "This is not just about her," he said. "She brought someone with her." Karan asked slowly. "Who?" Raghav's voice was low and serious. The room was filled with silence. Raghav held the note tightly in his hand. The red ink was still fresh. "She doesn't belong to you." Karan looked at his brother's face and saw something he hadn't seen in years. Fear. "Who could have written this?" Karan whispered. Raghav looked out into the dark village street. It was quiet. "Too quiet," she said. "Someone is watching from the window. Maybe he's still out there." They both turned back to the storeroom. The girl sat near the lamp, hugging herself. Her eyes followed them, nervous and alert. Karan walked in slowly. "Did someone follow you here?" The girl looked down, then nodded. "I ran away 2 nights ago," she said. "He was sleeping. I escaped through a broken door. I didn't know where to go. I just kept running when it ended up here. Who is he? Raghav asked. She hesitated. He called himself Uncle Raj. But he wasn't my uncle. He kept me and other kids locked inside a big house. He made us clean, cook, and he used to... Her voice broke. She covered her face with her hands. Karen sat beside her, his voice gentle. It's okay, you don't have to say more, you're safe now. Raghav stood near the window thinking. He knows she's here, that means he's close. Karan looked up. What do we do? We can't just sit and wait, Raghav said. Let's check outside. Maybe we'll find something. Both brothers stepped out with a flashlight. The village was quiet. The night was thick with shadows. They walked around the house slowly. Suddenly, the flashlight caught something in the high mud. Footprints. Someone had been standing behind the house not long ago. Raghav bent down. He was here, watching us. Karan looked around nervously. We should go to the police. And tell them what? Raghav asked. That we found a lost girl hiding in our house and someone's throwing notes at us in red ink? Karan frowned. It's better than doing nothing. Before Raghav could answer, a sound came from behind. Them. A branch snapped. They spun around quickly, the flashlight shaking in Raghav's hand. Who's there? He shouted. Silence. Raghav walked toward the bushes, his hands clenched. He pushed the branches aside. Nothing. Just trees and shadows. Then he saw something shining on the ground, a button. He picked it up. It was black with gold edges. Not something a village man would wear. Karan looked at it. That's not mine. That's city-made. Raghav looked around. He's not from here. He followed her. Maybe he's waiting for night to break in. They returned to the house, locking every door and window tightly. The girl was still awake. She looked at them with fear. Is he out there? Don't know yet, Karan replied honestly. But you're not alone anymore. We'll protect you. Raghav sat down beside her. We need to know more. How many others were with you? Where is that house? The girl nodded slowly. There were 5 of us. 3 girls, 2 boys. All under 15. That house is far, near the city. It looks normal from outside, but inside, it's a cage. Raghav listened carefully. Every word painted a darker picture. This wasn't just a lost girl. This was a missing child, a victim, maybe one of many. You're brave, he told her. But if we don't report this, more children will suffer. But he always finds me, the girl whispered. He has friends everywhere, police too. Karan and Raghav exchanged looks. The situation was deeper than they thought. We can't trust anyone easily, Raghav said. But I know someone from my past. An honest cop. He stood up and pulled out his phone. After a short call, he looked at Karan. Inspector Mehra. He's on his way here. He won't betray us. Suddenly, bang. A loud noise came from the roof. They froze. Another bang. Closer this time, Karan grabbed a stick. Raghav ran to the door. They heard the girl scream from inside. He's here! Raghav flung the door open and ran outside. The roof had a small trap door. It was shaking. Someone was trying to break in. Karan shouted, "Come down, I'll call the police." The shaking stopped. Silence. Then, a man's voice. Cold. Deep. "You can hide her." But not for long. Raghav shouted, "Show yourself!" But no reply came. Only the sound of footsteps running away on the roof. Then silence. They looked at each other, hearts pounding. Whoever he was, he had come close. And now he knew exactly where she was. Karan locked the last window and pulled. The curtains shut. Raghav was standing near the broken roof trap door, looking up. His heart was still racing. He could still hear that man's voice in his head. "You can hide her." But not for long. That voice was not normal. It had a tone, dark, calm, and cold. Didn't sound like someone scared of being caught. It sounded like someone who had done this before. Raghav turned to Karan. "That man, he's dangerous. He knows what he's doing. Karan nodded. And he isn't scared of us or the police. The girl sat in a corner holding a blanket tight around her shoulders. She was quiet now, but her eyes showed she hadn't relaxed at all. Raghav sat beside her. Do you remember anything else, his name, his full name, or anyone else who worked with him? The girl shook her head slowly. He never let us talk to each other. He never told us his real name. He only said, "You belong to me now." Karan clenched his fists. Monster! Raghav stood up and pulled out his phone again. He called Inspector Mehra. Where are you? We need you here now. I'm 5 minutes away, the inspector replied. And I'm not alone. I brought 2 trusted officers with me. Raghav sighed in relief. Good. Be careful. Someone tried to enter through the roof. When the call ended, Raghav walked to Karan. He's on his way. Karan nodded. What if the man comes back before that? Raghav looked out the window. Let him try. Just then, a car engine was heard outside. Bright headlights cut through the night. Raghav and Karan ran to the door. A police jeep stopped in front of the house. Inspector Mehra stepped out, wearing a long coat and holding a flashlight. 2 officers followed him. Where's the girl? He asked. Inside, Raghav said. She's safe, but someone tried to break in. They all went inside. The inspector knelt beside the girl. You don't have to be afraid, he said gently. I'm here to protect you. My name is Inspector Mehra. Can you tell me everything? The girl looked at him carefully. Then, slowly, she nodded as she began to tell her story. How she was taken, how other kids were kept locked in the house, and how she escaped. Raghav watched Mehra's face. And then something strange happened. For a split second, Mehra's eyes shifted. It was fast. Just a flicker, but Raghav caught it. When the girl said the name Uncle Raj, Inspector Mehra's jaw tensed slightly. Raghav leaned closer. You've heard that name before, haven't you? Mehra looked at Raghav and gave a small nod. Yes, I have, but I never had proof. That name came up in a missing children case last year. We thought it was just a fake name. The girl looked up. It's real. He's real. Karan asked. Then why didn't you arrest him? We didn't know where to look, Mehra said. And we were told to drop the case. By who? Raghav asked sharply. Mehra hesitated. Someone from above, a politician. I can't say the name, but now we have a witness. A real one. We can't waste time. Raghav's eyes narrowed. This is bigger than I thought. Mehra nodded. It is. Just then, one of the officers came running in. Sir, we found something. Behind the house. They all rushed outside. In the mud behind the house, someone had drawn a symbol. It looked like a circle with 3 lines inside it, like a broken cage. The girl gasped. That's his mark. He leaves it behind wherever he takes a child. Raghav looked at Mehra. He left it here to scare us. No, Mehra said. He left it here to tell us. He's watching. Karan looked around the darkness. He could be anywhere. Mehra replied, We need to move her to safety. Now. The inspector's team brought the girl into the police jeep. She sat quietly, the back still holding the blanket tight. Before they left, the girl turned to Karan and whispered, Thank you. Karan smiled. You're brave. Don't forget that. The jeep drove away, its lights fading into the distance. Raghav and Karan stood alone outside the house, but the fear hadn't left, because they knew something now. This wasn't the end. After, the police jeep disappeared into the dark village road. Raghav and Karan stepped back inside the old house. It felt empty again, but not peaceful. There was a new heaviness in the air. Like danger still lingered nearby. Karan sat down slowly. Do you think she's safe now? Raghav looked outside the window. For now, yes. But that man, Uncle Raj, he's not finished. He's watching. Planning. Karan lowered his eyes. And now, we're part of it. There was a silence between the brothers. Then Karan spoke again softly. Raghav, why did you come back? Raghav turned. What do you mean? After so many years, you left, you never called, and now suddenly you're here. Raghav sighed. Because I couldn't sleep anymore, no matter how rich I became. Something always felt wrong, like I had left a part of myself behind. Karen looked at him. You did. Raghav nodded. And I want to make it right. Just then his phone rang. It was Inspector Mehra. Raghav answered quickly. Is everything all right? No, Mehra's voice sounded serious. Something happened on the way. What? We were being followed. 2 black cars, no number plates. Raghav's heart dropped. Did they take the girl? No, Mehra said. We managed to escape and reach the safe house, but that man has eyes everywhere. This is organized, Raghav. It's bigger than we thought. Raghav paced the floor. We need to expose this. There's one way. Mehra. There's a file. A secret case file I kept hidden. It has names, photos, everything. Where is it? In my old office, but it's not safe. I was told to destroy it long ago. If someone finds out we're going for it, we could be killed. I'll go with you, Raghav said without hesitation. No, Mehra replied. Not yet. Let me. Bring it first. If I don't call you in 2 hours, you'll know something happened. He hung up. Raghav stared at the phone. Karan asked, What is it? Raghav explained everything. Karan's face turned pale. People in power are involved in this, aren't they? Yes, Raghav replied. And they'll do anything to protect their secrets. Hours passed slowly. Raghav and Karan waited, every second feeling longer than the last. Then, a knock on the door. They jumped. Raghav opened the door carefully. It was a young boy, about 12, wearing dusty clothes. He held something wrapped in an old cloth. Are you Raghav? The boy asked. Yes. The boy handed him the cloth. A man told me to give this to you. He said if he doesn't return, give it to the police. Raghav unwrapped it. Inside was a thick brown file with the words, Confidential Child Trafficking Network. Raghav's hands began to shake. Karen whispered, What's inside? Raghav opened it. There were photos, names, phone numbers, locations, even powerful people, business leaders, politicians, and officers. They were all part of the same evil web. Karan looked shocked. This is too big. We need to be careful now, Raghav said. If they find out we have this. Suddenly the lights went out. Complete darkness. Then the sound of a car pulling up outside. Raghav whispered, Someone's here. They ran to the back room, hiding the file under the floorboards. Footsteps approached the door. Then another. Karan grabbed a metal rod. Raghav picked up a wooden stick. A voice shouted from outside, Open the door. We know you're inside. It wasn't the police. They were surrounded. But Raghav whispered, No matter what happens, protect that file. It can save those kids. Karan nodded. Outside, the banging grew louder. The enemies were close. But now, the truth was in their hands. Raghav and Karan stood silently inside the dark house. Outside, angry voices shouted. Footsteps circled the home. The file, full of secrets about the child trafficking network, was hidden safely under the floor. But the danger was getting closer. Karan whispered, They're going to break in. Raghav nodded. We can't let them find the file. If they do, it's over. Suddenly, crack, the front window shattered. A rock rolled into the room. Then came the first loud bang on the door. Raghav pulled Karan toward the back room. We hide, quietly. Don't let them know we're still inside. They slipped into the back storage room and locked the wooden door from inside. Outside, the front door finally burst open. Boots stomped on the floor. Men with torches stepped in. Their faces were covered. Their voices were cold and sharp. Search the place, find the file, and find the brothers. Inside the back room, Karen covered his mouth to stop his breathing from getting loud. One of the men shouted, Start with the bedroom. Check under the floor. Check everything. Raghav's eyes widened. If they found the hiding spot, it was. But just then, a sudden loud siren roared through the village. Police sirens, then gunshots in the air. Police. Drop your weapons. You're surrounded. It was Inspector Mera. He had come back. And just in time, the men inside the house panicked. "Run! They found us!" Some jumped out the back window. Others tried escaping through the roof. But officers were waiting outside. One by one, they were caught. Raghav and Karan opened the door and stepped out. Inspector Mera ran toward them. His face was tired, but his eyes were full of fire. "Are you okay?" he asked. Raghav nodded. "Barely, but they didn't get the file." "Good," Mera said, "because I have something to tell you." He pulled out a small USB from his coat. "This is their internal database. I risked my life to get it from my old office." "What's in it?" Karan asked. "Videos, records, and names of all the people involved. If we combine this with your file, we can take the entire network down." Raghav looked at him. "Then let's not wait." The next morning, Raghav and Mera went to the city's largest news media house. They gave them the file and the USB. When the journalist opened it, she gasped, "My God, these are powerful people. This story will shake the country." "Let it shake," Raghav said. "It's time people know the truth." The journalist nodded. "We'll go live at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, Karen stayed back at the house, helping the police search for more evidence. While digging behind the house, officers found a secret tunnel leading into the forest. Karen followed them with a flashlight. At the end of the tunnel, they found an underground room with old mattresses, broken toys, and marks on the walls. One wall had lines scratched into it, like a child marking each day they spent inside. Karan turned away in pain. So many lives entrapped here. A small diary was found under one of the mattresses. It belonged to a little boy named Samir. It said, "Day 21. I miss my mother. I don't know where I am. They say we'll be taken soon. I want to go. Tui." Karan held the diary tightly. "We'll get justice for them. All of them." That evening, as promised, the news broke on every TV screen in the country. Headlines read, "Massive child trafficking ring exposed. Powerful names revealed." The file and video evidence was shown live. Faces of men in suits, politicians, and businessmen appeared on the screen. People were shocked. Anger spread across the country. Within hours, arrests began. Children who had been missing were found. Families were reunited. And for the first time, people believed change was possible. Back in the village, Raghav and Karan watched the news together. Karan whispered, "We did it." Raghav smiled. "No, you did it. You never gave up even when the world forgot you." Karan looked at his brother with tears in his eyes. "I'm proud of you, Raghav. You came back, and you stood by me." The two brothers hugged. This time not with guilt or goodbye, but with forgiveness and a new beginning. A week had passed since the truth came out. The news channels still talked about it every day. Newspapers had headlines like, "Brothers who brought down a crime empire," "Village youth helps expose child trafficking network," "Corrupt leaders behind bars," "Justice finally served." But for Raghav and Karan, it was not about fame. It was about peace. It was about finally doing the right thing. One morning, Raghav stood outside the broken village house with a construction team. He looked at the old walls, the damaged roof, the muddy floor. "This house saved lives," he said. "But now it's time to rebuild it, better and stronger." Karan came, out surprised. "What's going on?" Raghav smiled. "We're rebuilding this home and we're not stopping here." He handed Karan a paper. Karan read it slowly. His eyes widened. It was a legal document transferring half of Raghav's company shares to Karan's name. "This is—" "No," Karan said, stepping back. "I can't take this." "You can," Raghav said gently. "You earned it, and I want you to run something special, a foundation to help rescued children. Give them education, safety, and a future." Karan was speechless. Tears formed in his eyes. "But why me?" he whispered. Raghav placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. "Because I left you behind once. I won't do it again. This time, we stand together." That evening, the village gathered for a small ceremony. Inspector Mara spoke first. These two brothers changed everything. They stood up when it was dangerous. They gave us hope. Then one by one, rescued children and their families came forward, hugging Raghav and Karan, thanking them. A little girl gave Karan a drawing. It showed two brothers holding hands, smiling in front of a big house. Karan knelt down. "Is this?" She nodded. "Yes, you're heroes." Later that night, under the stars, Raghav and Karan sat on the rooftop. The village was quiet, peaceful. Raghav looked up. "Do you remember when we were kids and used to sit here?" Karan smiled. "Yes. We used to talk about dreams. You always said you wanted to help people," Raghav said. "And I wanted to be rich." Karan laughed. "Looks like we both got what we wanted, just in a way we never expected." Raghav nodded. "But I learned something. Real richness isn't money. It's when you can sleep at night knowing you did the right thing." Karan looked at his brother. "And forgiveness is the beginning of everything." They sat in silence for a while, the stars watching above them. The darkness that once ruled their lives was now gone. In its place stood two brothers, united, brave, and finally free. The past was behind them. The future was in their hands, and this time, they wouldn't let go of each other again.